You know, it's been over like a year since I've like discussed this game at all. I mean, that's kind of a lie. I talk about it like in every like voice chat I'm ever in. It's been about a year since I've actually like made a video on this game. And listen, I've had valid reasons. I kind of became a Minecraft YouTuber and like, you know, actually got views. So that kind of took up most of my time. However, I still get asked the question, where the heck is Hytale? In all seriousness, I've seen a lot of videos going like, where is Hytale? Hytale died. Hytale's gone. And like, there's been a lot of like kind of, I don't want to say negative videos, but they've definitely not been positive, kind of questioning the validity of the game, and it kind of annoys me sometimes for obvious reasons. But I'm definitely not biased towards liking this game. Just like, you know, I've been like involved in like in the community and like been like anticipating it since its release or like of the trailer back in 2018. I wanted to make my own video, hopefully in a lighter and more like clarified scope as to why the game ain't here. I'm gonna lay the cards on the table from what I have heard and understood. Obviously, take this with a grain of salt. Obviously, do your own research because I'm not 100% correct, but this is from my understanding. Where is Hytale? Now, due to the fact that I want to extend this video as long as possible for some easy ad revenue, I'm first gonna explain to you what is Hytale, because there may be one or two of you that I genuinely have no idea. Well, basically, Hytale is a game that's being developed by Hypixel Studios, which may sound familiar because it's derived from the Hypixel network, the most popular Minecraft server. At one point, they decided that they want to kind of expand their scopes beyond just being an established Minecraft server to something more. Because, I mean, you can only go so far making a server slash game inside of a game. So obviously they wanted to reach even higher. That is what inspired the beginning of Hytale. Hytale is essentially like, I guess, like the next generation block game. At the moment, we've had kind of three main block games. We've had Terraria, we've had Minecraft, and we've had Roblox. Well, Hytale like hopes to kind of inherit traits from all those games and basically make like I guess a magnum opus of all three combined, taking all their strengths and, you know, removing some of their weaknesses. And, you know, from what we've seen with like their release trailer and their postcards and like the Arcane X trailer that they released a year ago, it's so cool. Look at these like RPG mechanics, look at the scenery. Oh my god, I'm in love with this game. And it doesn't even stop there. You know, they promise endless modding and scripting possibilities, being able to completely change the game to like, you know, from like taking like looking similar to Minecraft to taking like a top-down shooter, for instance, being able to mod in guns. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more. And of course, they promise multiplayer, which is kind of like a given considering it's supposed to be like a game similar to Minecraft, Terraria, and Roblox. But one thing that's very hype about that is that one problem with Minecraft is if you want to play on a modded server or like a very alternative gameplay server, then you're gonna have to download mods or data packs or whatever to play on it. Well, you see, with Hytale, they have promised that all that type of stuff will be like promised within the client itself, so you shouldn't be able to have to go outside the client to download mods to be able to play your favorite servers. It will all be able to like be done from the game itself. Therefore, you know, no accidental Trojan horse viruses, which happened to me when I downloaded mods for the first time, which is honestly awesome. That sounds great. So that brings up the question, where the heck is it? It's been like 4 years since like the trailer dropped in 2018, and supposedly 6 years if you consider the fact that the first ever actual teaser of Hytale or like hint of Hytale was announced in 2016. So where the heck is it, man? It's been longer than Cyberpunk at this point. Well, it's not that simple. I'm gonna be quite frank with you. Hytale's not gonna be here for a while, okay? That is what's causing a lot of the controversy and, you know, like the drama in the community and like, you know, beyond, and why some people, I don't want to say hate, but have given a very interesting opinion on Hytale, which I think is a bit unfair. But essentially, a lot of people are kind of hating on the game for the fact it's not being released, and the devs themselves have said that odds are it's not going to be released even in 2023. The earliest start we're looking at is in 2024, at the earliest. It could even be delayed beyond that. So I want to explain why this is, so you don't just think this is, you know, the devs edging you a little bit, trying to like really like get you hyped about this and then ruin your hopes and dreams like it did mine for a little bit. Not really. I'm kidding. I'm still hoping and dreaming. I feel like the first kind of thing to emphasize as to why it's taken a while is the fact that the hype changed the scope of what the game is. Now let me explain something. Basically, when Hytale was first concepted and brought into development by Hypixel Network and Simon all those years ago, it was simply a kind of like a segmented, a little branch of the Hypixel Network using some of their funding to make an indie game that just took some promises of things they disliked about Minecraft and like evolved it to like an even greater scope. Hopefully, I mean, keep in mind Minecraft was originally developed by one guy, so why can't they do the same? But this time they had a bit more funding and a bit of a larger team, but it was still like, I think 30 people tops, which is still pretty impressive. However, they were not expecting anything big. This was an indie project from the start, from the get-go, and so was the funding as well. When they dropped that teaser trailer, the one in 2018 that got 60 million views, let me emphasize, 60 million views. They only expected that thing to get like 300,000. So obviously, they realized that they had something greater on their hands. This wasn't a simple little indie game anymore. This was straight up the most anticipated game of 2018. I do want to preface and really emphasize this point. Most AAA games, I'm talking like Call of Duty, I'm talking like Overwatch, I'm talking about all those big games, right? Barely any of them get 60 million views on their trailer. And these guys didn't even have any external like marketing or publicity besides a Minecraft server. Where the heck did all that popularity come from, So obviously they were a bit blown away, and you know, it took the internet by storm, which is fair. But what people don't realize is that completely changes the scope of what they're trying to do. They realize that like they can't just release something that's a bit buggy and indie. No, they got to release an actual full-blown video game now, which obviously is gonna overwhelm them a little bit and take more time. But Red, why can't they just do a Minecraft and release like an alpha and then develop it later on? Bro, that was 2010. We are in 2022 now. It doesn't work like that. Dude, look what happened to Cyberpunk. The game actually wasn't that bad, yet it had bugs and stuff. It got hated on. Like, bro, that thing was a meme for ages. People still haven't gone over the launch of Cyberpunk. It's not the only game that's gone like that. Most games nowadays are very buggy and whack on like the release, which has caused lots of hate and ridicule. If the Hytale guys or the Hypixel Studios really want to make sure that this game pops off, they can't pull the same stunt every other game has. Sure, you have games like No Man's Sky that have been able to recover and still like, you know, prove to themselves they are a very valid game. But like, see, for this type of project where they really rely on building a strong community of players, they need to make sure that the game is optimized and perfect from the get-go, or at least close enough to that point, which is why development gotta take a little bit. But that's just my first point. My second point that I will make, in case a lot of people haven't realized, is that Hytale isn't exactly a game. It's a platform. And what I mean by that is, imagine more like Roblox rather than Minecraft, or rather than Terraria. The way it's all core together is through an engine similar to Roblox, where you'll be able to kind of like, you know, twist and manipulate and, you know, mutate the game as much as you want to like make whatever exactly you want. That's what they emphasize with the scripting and the modding. That's why you can see stuff like the top-down shooter made from the game itself. And that's why it's such a big deal, because this isn't just a game. They aren't just making it like a simple Terraria. Like, sure, it does look like an RPG on the surface level. There are 3 pillars of the game, as they emphasize. There's the creative part, there's a multiplayer part, and then there's the adventure part. The adventure part is the most closely similar to Terraria and Minecraft at its roots, but the main thing that makes it different is there is a whole RPG story. So obviously, I guess this could be considered a game, but the multiplayer and the creative part are far from it. Those two, they want to make sure you can do whatever you want to the game. You could let your creativity flow and like essentially make a game within the game. I guess like the simplest example, once again, is Roblox multiplayer. Like, if you go on Roblox, you're not there to play Roblox itself. You're using Roblox as a library of access points to other games built on the Roblox engine. And that's exactly what Hytale's trying to do. That's what Hypixel Studios is doing with Hytale. And that's what people don't understand. They think it's a quick RPG game. It's not. It's a far more. So that leads me into my third point, that in order to make sure that they have the best platform possible, they gotta make sure it's optimized and as pristine as they can. So with that in mind, last year they announced that they have to redevelop the entire platform, or the engine, essentially from scratch. And the main reason for that is, from what I recall, I forgot which was which, but the original engine was coded in Java and C#. I think it was Java for the client and server C#. I could be wrong about that, don't hold me to it. But essentially they were coded in C# and Java, which I don't know if you know this, but it's super unoptimized. Have you seen Minecraft Java? It's not very good. Minecraft Java is probably one of the most poorly run and developed games. Like, if you look in, like, this is just a very small thing. If you look up in Task Manager whenever you launch Java Minecraft, your CPU usage will go to 100% just because, like, it overloads like crazy, man. I had like a whole issue with it recently. I had to reset my computer to try to fix it, but it just didn't work. I was bamboozled by Mojang and Microsoft. I guess Notch a little bit too, but he's kind of gone now. But that's why, like, even Mojang has emphasized their importance and their desires to switch to Bedrock Edition, because Bedrock Edition, I believe, is coded in C++, I'm pretty sure. I think, but overall it's just a far more optimized engine. And I think, if I can quote from the Hive, the Minecraft server that shut down their Java server, I think about a year ago, they claimed that basically running one Java server, they can run about 5 to 10 Bedrock servers with, like, the same hardware and same costs, which I find bizarre. And that's just because Java is just that bad. And that is something that Hypixel Studios wants to avoid. They want to make sure that the game is playable from the client with everything, like being a possibility from like mods, like the base game. Obviously they don't want to have different versions. They want to make sure it's one version for all. That's why they're recoding the engine. And on top of that, they also want to make sure that from the get-go, cross-platform playability, so I'm talking like, you know, Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, PC, all work together. That there's no like weird like fracture or weird like software issues that like prevent them from merging those platforms. And that is why they gotta make sure that this engine from scratch is as pristine and robust as possible, so that, you know, they don't need to deal with that issue later on. Because think about it, if the game launches and their only availability is PC and then they try to add like the cross-platform, odds are they could even need to make a whole different version, which hint hint, that's what Java and Bedrock does, which, you know, we all hate Java and Bedrock, but it's without like a debate that like around 80 to 90% of Minecraft's player base is on Bedrock. So they gotta make sure that they appease that audience as well, because if they don't, it's gonna become a lot of issues. So a lot of people are probably gonna ask, like with like all this stuff that I mentioned, the change in scope, the game not being a game but like a platform, and like that they are redeveloping an engine, is that a problem? I mean, it depends on how you look at it, but not necessarily, because like in general they're just trying to make the best possible game slash platform that they can. That's their goal. They're not rushing the game, which honestly people should be grateful for. Imagine if they just rushed it, kind of gave us like a half-ass project that's not even living up to the standards that the community made for the game. Then it's gonna disappoint everyone. Everyone's gonna be like pissed, and then like they're gonna become the laughing stock, which obviously nobody wants. Everyone that I've spoken to hopes for Hytale to be the new frontier, to be the next generation of like, you know, Minecraft or block games, essentially letting them relive those first early on experiences they had in Minecraft in a whole new game. They crave the next generation, okay? They crave the evolution, the next step. But it takes time, like with anything, you know? And I think that crave slash desire slash want is what's causing people to feel very impatient and very entitled to demanding the game and wanting it as soon as possible. And I can't blame them. I want the game too. I can't lie. But still, you gotta understand that they're trying to make the best game, okay? They're trying. It just takes time. But it's like, you know, they're making progress. They've shown like blog posts. They've shown teasers. They're making great strides towards this game that we all want to play one day. So with that in mind, be patient. This is just from a content creator's perspective. Like I've spoken with many that want to take advantage of Hytale. It's like, you know, a new platform for content, new platform to, you know, make a career out of, from like being a builder to being a programmer slash dev slash, you know, an artist slash modeler to, you know, even machinimas and all that stuff. If that's really your like goal, right? If your goal is to like be an artist, be a content creator, be a programmer, or whatever, keep in mind that these skills are not specifically exclusive to Hytale. You could literally do this in any other game, in any other avenue of life, okay? Like, look at me. Originally, like on this channel, about a year or two ago, I did a few Hytale videos, like speculation, because I thought like maybe I could get an early footer in like Hytale before it releases, back when we all presumed to release in 2021. However, obviously, like I kind of noticed that, like, you know, odds are it's gonna take a bit longer than that. So then I decided to switch to Minecraft to like have a go there and develop my content skills, so that when Hytale drops, I will be ready. My advice is for those of you that are trying to be skilled people or tradesmen or whatever, try to advance those skills somewhere else so that when Hytale drops, you're ready to go. But I digress. That is my little rant slash discussion. Be patient. It's gonna come out eventually. My mom made a little joke the other day going, you know, your grandchildren are gonna love Hytale, which, I mean, if they get to play it one day, that would be great. But just know that Hytale isn't just a quick game that like Hypixel Studios is making for the sake of making a game, you know, like a quick block like most AAA games. They're trying to make the next generation, the next step in block games. So yeah, be hyped, be patient,